What's good, Chaotic Nation? It's your boy Chaos here, and I've been thinking about the gyms in a Pokemon universe, and a lot of them really don't meet the typing they are based around. So I've taken the liberty of rearranging the gym leaders' teams to represent their typing and their home region more accurately. And since we started in Johto, it's only logically that we proceed down the generations and go to Hoenn next. So sit back and relax as we dive into fixing the Hoenn gym leaders. To clarify about this video, I will be looking at the ORAS teams specifically, but a lot of these teams can be applied to Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald as well. To start off the gym leaders, we have Roxanne. No, not doing that meme, although I already did. Anyways, we have Roxanne, whose normal team consists of Geodude and Nosepass, which is a pretty lackluster team and really is just essentially a nod back to Brock. So to give Roxanne a bit more of her own team, we're going to be swapping her Geodude for Relicanth. Relicanth, the ancient Pokemon, really fits well with Roxanne's gym that has some inspirations on fossils, and while the fossil Pokemon of the region would also be good candidates for this team, Relicanth really doesn't receive much love. If you're wondering why fossil Pokemon do well in this team, just take a look at the backdrop of the gym when you enter and you play the game. It is heavily invested in fossils. We could also save the rest of the fossil Pokemon for her rematch team, which would be a really cool feature. Moving on to Brawley, we have a Machop and a Makuhita, which again is a bit underwhelming, saying there's a few really good fighting types in Hoenn. I'm not really sure what Game Freak is on about, but they have to include a Kanto Pokemon on every gym team. To me, Breloom makes much more sense on Brawley's team instead of Machop. There's no grass gym in Hoenn, and Breloom is a really cool Pokemon that just would make sense for Brawley because it does exhibit that fighting stance and that fighting prowess. You see in the sprites of Breloom, in the active sprites, that it jumps around and is punching all the time. So it just fits Brawley's atmosphere and really fits the fighting part of Brawley's character. Also, you get one right before you set out for Dewford, so it's a really good option for a scary ace Pokemon for an early gym in this game. Wattson is up next, and you might as well just copy and paste Lieutenant Surge's team here because that's pretty much what this is, minus the Raichu, which was the only really good part about the team. So pretty much is just a piece of crap. There's no originality here besides the inclusion of a Volt Switch as its TM and the move that is used between all Pokemon. So to fix this, let's give Wattson Plusle, Minun, and Manectric. Now I know that Plusle and Minun are generally thought of as weak Pokemon, but we can give Wattson a really annoying moveset with them to make the gym exponentially better than it was before. We could also make this a double battle to allow Plusle and Minun's abilities to work together for extra damage, and we already have a doubles gym in Hoenn, but that would just add to where the doubles came from and when the feature was actually used. So that would be a really good nod back to the Generation 3 inclusion of doubles battling. With the inclusion of Manectric on Wattson's team, he has access to Mega Pokemon, which I think should be included on every gym that it fits. Now some don't, but I think it should be included where it can be. However, this Mega Manectric will only be reserved for the rematch battle since the player does not have access to the Megas at the time in the story where they battle Wattson. Speaking of giving Megas to older gym leaders, Wattson got Manectric, but Roxanne and Brawley were not given Megas because I really didn't feel like they fit on the team, plus there's really no good Megas for them to get. But if you want to give them some for the rematches, potentially Mega Aerodactyl and Mega Lopunny would be good solutions. Flannery is next, and this is a really challenging gym to change due to the limited number of native Fire-type Pokemon in Hoenn. Flannery's Master Team should be Torkoal, Numel, and Blaziken. Obviously with Blaziken having the ability to Mega Evolve in rematch battles. I feel like this team really suits Flannery's fiery personality, and it'll be more focused on doing maximum damage with Sun set by Torkoal's Drought ability. Drought works better for a support on this team, and Blaziken kind of just took over the ace spot, so that makes more sense than running White Smoke on your Torkoal. It's time to make a trip to Dad, aka Norman, and the normal type 5th gym. Norman's team is quite scary, but entirely comprised of Slackoth evolutions, which is very unbalanced for a gym that literally gives you the balance badge. So it really needs tweaked a little bit. We're going to swap out all but one slacking for Lanoon, Exploud, and Zangoose. These native Hoenn normal types represent the balance of the gym, some being fast, others being offensive, and still some being defensive in characteristics. I will say that Norman is the best candidate to have a Pokemon from another region, since it is explained in the story that he moved along with the player character to Hoenn. But I stuck with the Hoennifying of the Hoenn gyms regardless of the fact that Norman is not a native of Hoenn. I also gave Norman 4 Mon, since I think it's reasonable for a 5th gym leader to have 4 Pokemon on his team instead of 3. Winona is next, and this team is actually really good since it's completely comprised of Hoenn Pokemon. Or so you'd think. I mentioned in the Johto video that Skarmory is actually Generation 2 Pokemon, but it just feels like a Generation 3 Mon since it can be obtained fairly easily by trainers playing through the games. I think you can replace Skarmory with something that would make a ton of sense, and it's found right next to Fortree City, and that's Tropius. Tropius can still fill the defensiveness of this team, and there's a high likelihood of trainers missing out on ice types to deal with it, while also providing a neutrality to electric, making it a really good option as a defensive Pokemon on this team. This also is the first gym to have a Mega, that being Mega Altaria, since you obtain the Mega Stone right before you enter Fortree City, and it makes no sense that a game would not use the battle mechanics introduced into the game for its gym leaders and NPCs, but we'll really cover that a lot more in Kalos than in Hoenn. Tate and Liza are next, and they have just a Solrock and a Lunatone. This is completely unacceptable. 2 Pokemon for a 7th gym is just laughable, especially when Swampert can Wattson and one-shot both of them with a single Surf. So to give the gym leaders a better shot, I have included Mega Medicham and Mega Gardevoir. Oh yeah, since there are 2 trainers battling you and not just 1, there are 2 Mega Pokemon. In Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, I would swap Gardevoir with Grumpig to avoid the overlap with Wally's ace being Gardevoir. But it is Gallade instead in Oras because Gen 4 existed at that point in time. So Gardevoir makes perfect sense to be thrown onto this team and to fit the gym aesthetic really well. Wallace is our final gym leader, and Wallace has a really good team barring the inclusion of Seeking, which is kind of disappointing when literally half of the region is covered in water, and there are countless water-type Pokemon because it is the most common typing. To fit Wallace's team, we will be changing Seeking with either Huntail or Gorbis, and Wishcash with Swampert. I like the idea of Huntail or Gorbis being used based on which version of the game you were playing, one for Ruby and one for Sapphire respectively. Because it's really cool just to show off the split evolution, and there's a different challenge in each game then. It kind of makes Wallace a little bit more customizable. And I also know you might be wondering about adding Swampert to the team instead of Wishcash. Well, I have done this to give Wallace a Mega Evolution. That's really all it is. I think Wishcash is a really good option for this team, but I needed a Mega for Wallace, and there's no Mega Milotic, so that's the next best thing. The other good part about Swampert, it really fits this team nicely, because one of its teammates could set the rain and make this an absolute menace to try to deal with. Thanks for watching today's video. I hope you have enjoyed, and let me know what you think of the changes I made in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more content from me and more Pokemon content from the channel. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm Chaos, signing off. Stay safe, and as always, burn it up.